So I really want to thank you, Lady Justice.
Uganda is grappling with the impact of HIV, where at least 1.5 million people are affected. In a public dialogue, bringing in members of the judiciary, civil society, as well as people living with HIV, a consensus has emerged that the existing legal framework requires re-evaluation for enhanced fairness and efficacy.
The law introduced, among others, involuntary disclosure of one's HIV status, more especially for those with knowledge that they are HIV positive. This disclosure is wide as it relates to all persons in social contact with the person making the disclosure. This has created negative discriminatory approaches in handling cases of people living with HIV in the courtroom.
Proskovia Ayebare, the principal prosecutor from the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, highlighted a concerning gap in understanding the HIV Prevention and Control Act among certain prosecutors.
We went out to sensitize ourselves, that is the criminal justice system, to sensitize the prosecutors, the police officers, the prison staff, and the judicial officers. And our finding was that none of them had made reference to the HIV Act, save in Bushenyi, where we found about 2 courts that had charged under the HIV Act.
The correlation between HIV prevalence and sexual violence was brought to the forefront by Angela Nakafero, Commissioner of Gender and Women Affairs, who emphasized the state's commitment to empowering women.
Usually I normally reflect on the proverb that a poor person has no choice. We have a grant for people with disability. We have a grant on old persons.
Civil society representatives echoed a crucial perspective, emphasizing that the implementation and impact of these laws fluctuates, heavily influenced by societal attitudes towards HIV and AIDS.
We are talking about repealing or revising the sections specifically to do with disclosure of results to third parties. And we think that this needs to be looked into. The Parliament of Uganda, working with the Law Reform Commission, need to look at this particular section. But also sections to do with attempted transmission of HIV and intentional transmission of HIV.
While the law sternly criminalizes the intentional spread of HIV, it makes it hard for victims to prove their victimhood and thus denying them justice. Walter Mwesije, NTV.